All right, the Paynes fans. Now, I know you're probably kind of confused now. It's like, Jeremy, for somebody that said they weren't going to review the Paynes anymore, you certainly are coming out with a lot of videos. And this was actually given to me to buy a series on Instagram. We were talking, I think it was right after I posted my episode review for the finale. And he was telling me that the actors that portray Ryan and Terrence said the Paynes have not been renewed yet. They only have filmed the 38 episodes that they got ordered, basically season one. So pretty much every episode that aired from the beginning to the end of 2018. The finale we got, with the cliffhanger, that was pretty much all that was filmed because OWN had ordered 38 episodes. So, basically, if the show got renewed, then they would definitely come back and do a season two. And it says there is no set return date and the actors are really wanting another season. I wasn't aware of that. I mean, because on Wikipedia, and we all know how reliable that is, as well as a couple other resources of mine, they were saying that the show was actually returning sometime in 2019. But I'm going to be completely honest. And I read some of the comments on my more recent Pain videos. The one about the who will Nyla choose, and the episode review for the finale. And it's kind of, even on my Instagram post about the Paynes, it's a mixed bag when it comes to the responses I get, where some people just flat out say the show sucks. It has nothing on House of Pain in terms of the atmosphere. The characters really don't seem to click and stuff like that. And then you have people kind of in the middle where the show's so bad that you just gotta watch it every week because you just want to see what happens. And then you have people that say, I enjoy the show for what it is, you're too critical, it's just a TV show, yada yada yada. And I mean, that's all well and good because everybody can have their opinion, but I'm not going to use this video to really rant about why I dislike the show. It's more of, I wasn't aware that it wasn't renewed for a season two, but in a way, I'm honestly not surprised by that because ever since the show was announced, and let's just be honest, and I got an entire playlist of Payne's videos. You can go watch them if you want. I mean, if you do, that's awesome for me and the channel. But in those videos, even before the series started, there were murmurings about this show just being, a filler show because Tyler Perry not only had two big hits with The Haves and the Have-Nots and If Loving You Is Wrong, but now all of a sudden he has a new comedy sitcom-esque show, which, I mean, most people just assume was the replacement for Love Thy Neighbor, and Tyler Perry's deal with OWN was coming to an end. So in terms of contractual obligations, we were all like, well, this show's just a filler show to, end his time on OWN. It's nothing too special. Whereas other people were excited from the pain. I mean, when the show was first announced, a lot of people were excited. But when they showed that first group photo of the new cast and we only saw Curtis, Ella, and a bunch of new people, the internet, and I mean, by internet, I mean, the Tyler Perry community was in a major uproar. I mean, literally, it's like, wait a minute. What are we doing with just Curtis and Ella? What about CJ, the kids, Calvin, Floyd, everybody at the barbershop and whatnot? Well, what the hell's going on? None of that was there. We're just completely dropped into a new story because technically, I mean, it's more of a spin-off sitcom than actually a continuation of House of Pain. Continuity-wise, I mean, if Calvin and everybody wasn't in the first 3 episodes, then this series would be literally a standalone show without any connection to House of Pain. I mean, aside from a couple of references to, other House of Pain characters, but that's it. And I mean, you all know I stopped watching around episode 25 just because the show wasn't getting better. I mean, I had given this show chance after chance. Like my episode reviews, after the first maybe 4 episodes, they really started going down bad in terms of the scores. I would rank them. But then with episodes like Lynn's Nightmare and, Nyla really coming to grips with the situation, realizing Kendrick isn't who she thought he was, and really reassuring the kids that, they're starting a new phase of their life together, and really kind of getting along with the Paynes. And, everything seemed to be looking up. Like, I remember like for a string of 2 to 3 episodes, I was really praising the show for coming into its own and really developing the new characters. But then as soon as as soon as Terrence found the bag of money in the laundromat and handed it over to Ella, that's when things really hit rock bottom. And I just quit watching the show after episode 25. From the laugh track to the not real chemistry between the characters. I mean, I mean, nothing. And again, I say this in like every video, it's nothing against the cast. I just don't think they're being directed properly. Because honestly, look at any episode of the Paynes. Even when the cast was back, even when House of Pain cast was back, it's like Jazz had like a freaking one-liner every single sentence. It's like nobody could talk because she would interject with a line. It's like, look, it's not that funny anymore. I mean, when you're a cute kid and whatnot, you were sassy, but at the same time, it wasn't like every single scene. And if you really go back and think, like, honestly, despite how people praise the first 3 episodes because of the original cast, I challenge you, watch 2 episodes of House of Pain, or 3 if you want to. Watch 3 episodes of House of Pain, then watch 3 episodes of the Paynes, the first 3 episodes when the main cast is there. Compare the comedy and the laugh track as well as the flow of the episode. I bet that if you watch those episodes of the Paynes with the regular cast, while it was great to see them on the show, you could tell the writing was a lot different in terms of how they interacted with each other. Them really taking one little joke and then trying to stretch it out for like 5 minutes long. It sucks. That's what really got me about the Paynes. Like every episode was the same formula where the first 7 minutes were nothing but maybe 2 to 3 characters in one location talking about the same thing over and over again for like 5 minutes. I think one of the worst episodes was A Worldwide Pain. That was the episode where Curtis refused to give Ryan his debit card or credit card to order a necessary part to repair one of the washers or the dryers. So instead of asking for help, he's determined to do it by himself. And the entire episode is centered around the fact that he doesn't know how to use the internet. He doesn't just simply ask somebody for help because the kids know how to do it. And that's supposed to fill up, 20, 22 minutes. That's the main problem with this show. I just feel like Tyler Perry has bullet points. It's like, okay, in this episode, Curtis doesn't know how to use the internet. And we're just going to use a slapstick jokes around it. And then I don't even know how to go into detail about it, but it's just ridiculous how this laid out, because I really feel like Tyler Perry didn't give this show much attention at all. I just feel like it was one of those situations where, okay, I'm obligated to do at least one more show or X amount of episodes of a series, so I'm just going to create the Paynes because the fans wanted it. And I really wish there was a way to gauge the Paynes community, because that was one thing about the promotions for the Paynes, like Ella and Curtis were on, on the commercials talking about how they're blessed because the fans wanted this show back, but we didn't get it. Like I literally cannot see why people would want this show back in the way it was brought back. Like I cannot think of anything. I remember when the show was first announced, people were hyped, but when they dropped that first photo, that's when people literally couldn't stand it. But things got better because we saw the released photos of the old main cast, and hope seemed to be, I guess you could say, bubbling up. Like people were beginning to feel hopeful for the show. And I remember I'm doing videos that really blew up, like, ooh, is Miranda coming back? Is Calvin and Nyla going to become an item? Things of that nature, but it turns out that wasn't the case. Hell, we didn't even get cameos from any of the older characters. I mean, obviously, for example, China, aka Jasmine, has been busy as I don't know what over the past year, between, of course, being Jennifer on Black Lightning. She was filming for Descendants 3, and Calvin being on Star, if I'm not mistaken, as well as the other cast, working on other projects. So I was hoping that at some point, okay, during season 1, we will wrap things up somewhat. The laundromat will be fixed up, which it is. The whole Nyla situation might be rectified to a certain extent. And then at some point, maybe during season 2, some of the old cast can pop up, you know, maybe during like a holiday themed episode or whatever, just to kind of check in on Curtis and Ella and see that things are actually going pretty well. So compared to when they, you know, left. But that's not the case. So I'm going to be completely honest here. I would not be upset if the show isn't brought back. This isn't me being a hater. Like, don't get me wrong. If I were a cast member on the show, I would probably want it to be renewed simply because of the fact that, you know, it's an acting gig. But I just feel like the show barely had any effort put into it. I just feel like, you know, I made this analogy before. It's kind of like, you know, and this is the perfect time to make the analogy because, you know, it's final season and a lot of colleges have finished up their semesters as well as public schools pretty soon. So it's like, you know, oh, you know what, my final grade, okay, I already have enough points in here to get an A. So at bare minimum, I need to get like a 40 on the final to, you know, maintain an A or get a B plus. So I'm just going to, you know, half-ass it just to finish up the class and I'm done. That's kind of how I feel about the Paynes when it comes to Tyler Perry before he leaves on. That's honestly how I feel. I don't feel like I'm alone in this. I just feel like, you know, when I talk to a lot of people during my hiatus from the show, my 13 episodes or 13 weeks from not watching the show, people would message me and just say, hey, did you watch the Paynes? I'm like, nope, like me neither. Or people would say, yeah, I'm keeping up with the Paynes, but honestly, you're not missing much because literally I went on Wikipedia. I looked at the episode list and all the episode synopsis, and those 1 or 2 sentences told me everything I needed to know about the episode. No joke. And it goes back to the whole bullet point thing where Tyler Perry just seemed to jot down one little thing. It's like, okay, in the last episode of the season, we're going to have Terrence talking with Nyla because Nyla makes her choice. And then we're going to fill in like 17 minutes of the episode with talk about ice cream. Ella going, Curtis. And then the end of the episode is Terrence doing Kendrick doing exactly what, you know, Nyla thought he wouldn't do anymore. So that's pretty much it. Like that's pretty much all I got to say about it. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you want the Paynes to return? Like, allegedly it hasn't even began filming at all for season 2, nor has it been renewed. I mean, my focus is more on If Loving You Is Wrong being brought back. And hell, bring back Too Close to Home. I'd rather have 14 episodes in a season 3 to wrap up that series, or at least have season 3 kind of be a meter to gauge the public's interest. Like, if Too Close to Home does well, then continue it on, because really, I feel like it wasn't the show that was horrible. I feel like TLC wasn't the right platform for it, because remember, that was their first scripted drama series. So maybe it would get new life on a new channel. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Paynes being brought back. Do you think it's gone for good? Do you think it deserves to be renewed? Honestly, if it does come back for season 2, it needs a lot of revamping. I'm talking about less laugh track, the episodes having substance, because literally we had 38 episodes. I bet you can take the actual good parts of the episodes that move the story forward, if you took the parts of each episode that actually move the story forward and put it all together, you can actually equate it to like 1 or 2 episodes of the actual show. That's literally how drawn out it is. And you know what's crazy? Because, and I've been that person, I still do it sometimes, talk about how the haves and the have-not, especially towards the back half of season 3 and really into season 4, that's when the show really was being dragged out, and you could tell that it was ridiculous, where you could miss 2 or 3 episodes and not miss much at all. The Paynes is only 20 minutes long, minus commercials, so it's 20 minutes long, and they just drag these episodes out where it is literally a chore just to watch it. So that's another thing. If you bring this show back, if you decide to drag the episodes, at least make it funny. You could say what you want about Meet the Browns and House of Pain being like 22 minutes long, but they at least had a story in the midst of a ton of jokes. But at the same time, you could tell the characters really had chemistry with each other. That's all I got to say about it. So once again, leave your thoughts in the comment section below about the future of the Paynes. Should it be revived? Should it be canceled? Should another show be brought back in its place? Or should Tyler Perry just, quit trying to revive these shows altogether? Because trust and believe, after seeing the Paynes being hyped up for being like the epic return to House of Pain, Meet the Browns needs to stay the way it was. Like, don't bring it back. Don't do anything. Just leave Meet the Browns the way it was. I mean, one could argue that after this Madea farewell tour, because Mr. Brown and Cora are in it, could the popularity of those characters in the play bring about a resurgence of the Mr. Brown franchise? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So once again, folks, I appreciate my, 16-minute banner not falling on deaf ears here, but stay tuned for new content on the channel, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Congratulations on making it to the end of this video. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, as well as leaving your thoughts in the comment section below so we can keep the conversation going. On the left hand side of the screen, you should see a picture of Jeffrey Harrington. You can click on him in order to subscribe, but also hit the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content. Also, you should see some videos appearing on the screen as well that I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy if you enjoyed the one you just saw. But also, be sure to follow me on social media such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Links to all my social media will be in the description below. And in order to help this channel hit 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to need your help. So make sure to share this video as well as the channel around with all of your friends on your own social media. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you all in the next video.